So when looking at this chart from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we can see that inflation, which is the reduction in the purchasing power of the dollar, really began to skyrocket immediately following World War II, and it really just has not stopped ever since. Now, fast forward to today, we can see that inflation rates are at 40-year highs, and even though inflation has subsided a tad, ultimately inflation is still a persistent problem. And even though the Federal Reserve is beginning to take action and being very aggressive with trying to combat inflation by raising interest rates, it's clear that inflation will be a persistent problem for the foreseeable future. Hi everyone, it's Frank with Teaching University. In this lecture today, we're going to be discussing why it is that saving money can actually destroy your wealth. Now, I know this seems counterintuitive because many of us have been told by friends and family, by parents, and by financial professionals and people who claim they know what they're talking about, that we got to put 20% of our money away into a savings account and save that money for a rainy day. And savings in of itself, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we want to have some cash set aside, of course, for emergencies and have capital set aside. There's nothing wrong with that. But savings in of itself can actually do more harm than good, because as I mentioned in the slides previously, that inflation right now has become a persistent problem, and it's more so now than ever before, as inflation rates right now have reached 40-year highs, and is going to be a problem for the foreseeable future. So as your money sits in that savings account, it's actually money that is being destroyed because of inflation, because you're barely earning any interest on that money in a savings account. Even in a high yield savings account right now, the interest you're earning is definitely not going to help you combat inflation, which, again, as I said before, is a real problem that is probably not going to get better anytime soon. So what is it then that we can do to help us preserve and grow our wealth? Well, obviously we have to think about not just saving, but growing our wealth, obviously through investing. And of course, we do that through stocks, through bonds, through real estate, investing in assets, but also by thinking about how we can invest in ourselves and become much more marketable in the marketplace, by improving our skills so that we can help others, and also start businesses that can provide products and services that can benefit other people, and we can get paid handsomely for it. And that means creating more cash flow, creating more streams of revenue for us that can help us grow our wealth in the long term. And I stress the term long term, now not to sound redundant, but we want to think in a long-term horizon when it comes to growing our wealth, because unfortunately we have this mindset of instant gratification where we want money right now. And this sort of mindset, we've seen this with these meme stocks and sort of this gambling-like behavior that we see in the stock market that can do more harm than good, and it can in fact lead people to the poorhouse. And that's not something I want for any of you watching right now. It's thinking long-term, where we want to invest in businesses, we want to start our own businesses, we want to invest and grow our wealth and not just rely on savings alone, which, again, putting your money in a savings account, ultimately it's just sitting there, barely earning any interest, while inflation is destroying the purchasing power of our hard-earned money. So it's really important that we change the way we think when it comes to how we approach wealth. It's investing not just our money in assets, but also investing in ourselves. We are the ultimate asset, and we want to protect that. We want to encourage it and grow it so that we can be much more marketable in the marketplace and be wealthier as a result, not just financially, but spiritually as well. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can watch all my lectures on personal growth, wealth building, entrepreneurship, and creativity. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.